Today's class, we'll just do a little of this, a little of that, kind of a bit of everything. And we'll start sitting, I'll recommend sitting cross-legged. If you find yourself either kind of rolling back on the pelvis or the knees are really high, you might enjoy it more if you sit on something. So a folded blanket or two if you need. Yeah. All right. And then once you're settled here, let's just make some circles. Yeah. And as you're taking this circular motion, see if you can feel the bottom points of the pelvis, also known as the sitting bones, also known as the ischial tuberosities. And just see if you can feel that as you're moving along. And then we'll take a couple rounds the other direction. And same thing here. I could just do a whole class of these circles. I'm telling you, it's one of my favorites. Yeah. Great. And then as we arrive back in the center, let's pause. And take your hands here, right kind of like this at the top rim of the pelvis. And we'll tilt a little forward and a little back, like you would do in a cat-cow. And here too, see if you can feel that the sitting bones as you rock forward and back. Yeah. Notice if you have a tendency, if you're always back or always forward. And see if you can find that middle point where you're just right over it. And then tip tiny bit forward of that. Yeah, great. Keep your hands here and press down. And imagine your sitting bones could grow roots down like deep into the earth. Yeah. And then let's lengthen up through the arms. As you lift the arms, think of using the arms to help pull up through the side body. From the triceps to the pinkies, lift up a little bit more. But then from the thumbs all the way down through the inner line of the shoulder blade, let that go down slightly. Great. Let's inhale. And then on the exhale, release the arms, but keep the length in the torso. Yeah, try not to drop down as you lift the arms. Excellent. So let's just sit here for a few moments with the eyes closed. And one more time, grow your imaginary roots down through the sitting bones and see if that helps you find some length elsewhere in the body, the crown of the head. As you take the next few breaths, on the inhale, think of creating some expansion from the inside out. And then on the exhale, we condense from the outside in. Let's take a couple of breaths like that. Sometimes in our yoga practice, we'll open making the sound of Om. For today, let's, instead of Om, we'll make a humming sound, so you'll be able to feel some vibrations. We'll place one hand just over the heart at your chest, and then the other hand on top of it here. And as we breathe in, expand yourself from the inside out. Bless you. And when we exhale, we'll hum. And very gently let the head bow down, let the eyes start to blink open. We'll release the head to center and the arms come back down. And then from here, let's tip your fingertips. Press down through the fingers and use this pressing down to help, again, lengthen along through the torso. Yeah, good. And then from here, we'll let that go. Take the right arm out a little wider and the left arm overhead. I'll mirror you guys here. So just coming into a side bend. And then we'll press into the floor. Use the inhale to rise and the exhale to go to the second side. Yeah, let's take that one more time, coming up and then over. This time we'll stay. And as we inhale, rotate a little more towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, you'll turn a little more towards the floor. So just a couple of those. Let's keep the left elbow slightly bent as you're doing the back and forth. That's it. And then when you're ready, we'll press into the right hand. Up we come and over, side two. Inhaling to turn open. And exhaling to close. A couple more like that, keeping a slight little bend in the right elbow. Good. All right. Next time we inhale, let's press into the bottom arm. Bring both arms up overhead. Let's release the arms down and then just take the legs with the opposite one in front for your leg cross, just so we get a different experience here. Hands will stay right on the knees. We'll breathe in, pull on the knees and give the chest a little draw forward and up. And then on the exhale, let yourself round. And if you want to go back further, you can, up to you. So a few of these, inhale forward, exhale back. It's like a seated version of our cat-cows. Nice. And then from here, friends, let's pause the next time. We're just right in the middle. Root down through the sitting bones. Up come the arms. Inhale. On the exhale, turn to your right. Let the arms come down. Left hand to the right leg, right arm behind. We'll stay here for a few moments. Press the back hand into the floor and use that press down to lengthen and lift. And then we'll turn your face to look forward. Keep the front hand where it is. Reach the back arm up and over so you're kind of in this diagonal. Yeah. And then we'll pull on the leg to come back. Unwind yourself. Inhale, we rise. Both arms come up. Exhale, side two. Over we come. Right hand to left leg, left arm behind. Stay here for a few moments. Press the back hand down and use that to help elongate the spine. We'll turn your head to look forward and then stretch the back arm up and over here on the other diagonal. Yeah. Good. Let's pull on the leg a little to come back up. Unwind yourself. Take the fingers here just right on the front of the shoulders and let's make some like little wings, circles. Excellent. Yeah. Okay, and then let that go. Let's stretch the legs out in front of you and just kind of jiggle them out a little bit. Yeah. And then we can circle out the ankles just to move them a bit after sitting. No specific movement here, just kind of anything. Yeah. So we will take a brief rendition of Supta Padangusthasana for a few reasons. One, to stretch out the legs and also to inform some of the other poses we'll be doing later on. So let's come down onto your back, strap handy. And then let's take the strap over your right foot, and I'll be kind of specific. Let's put it right about at the front of your heel, so where the heel and the arch meet. And then the right leg comes up. Left leg can be bent or straight, whatever you like. And just give yourself a moment here for anything stretch-wise. You can go back and forth. You can bend and straighten the knee. Anything that feels like a good idea. Yeah. And then from here, let's pause. And we'll all do this. Bend the right knee. And as you re-straighten the leg, press the foot into the strap and use the strap to create some resistance. Yeah, so the foot presses up, the leg re-lengthens. And then you'll bend the knee to back off. So do that a few times. Create the resistance on the pressing up, the straightening phase. And then you let it go a little bit on the bend. Now, every time the heel presses up towards the ceiling, think of pressing the thigh bone. Or let me rephrase. Think of the ball and socket joint. Can you press the ball into the socket as the leg goes straighter? Yeah. So when we do all of these things, you might notice a little rock going on in the pelvis. As the heel presses up and the ball presses into the socket, the lumbar spine draws more into the body. The pelvis tips a little forward. Let's stay next time the leg is in the up position. And if you're up for it, have the left leg long on the floor. And pretend you've got another strap and could press the left heel straight out into your imaginary strap. But at the same time, think of drawing the left thigh bone headward or plugging the ball into the socket on that side. Yeah? And then don't do on both legs and do it again. So both heels press out. In the hip joint, press the ball into the socket. Yeah, great. And then we'll relax. Let's bend the knee, take the leg out, and we'll change sides. So same thing, other side. Set up the strap so it's right at the front of the heel. And then yogi's choice just for a little bit here, just to stretch out the leg muscles, take any kind of movement that appeals to you. Great. And then let's pause. Take a little bend in the knee. And as you re-straighten the leg, create some resistance. Press the heel into the strap into the heel as we slowly go straighter. And then you'll re-bend and go a couple more times. And just like the other side here, as the heel is pressing up, press the ball down into the socket. So the socket is the pelvis. Yeah. And notice if you get a little movement in the pelvis, almost like a little cat-cow tilt as we're doing this. Yeah, let's pause here the next time the leg is in your version of straight. And if the right knee is bent and it feels okay to lengthen it, go ahead and do. And now pretend that you've got another strap. Press out through the right heel. But at the same time, try to draw the thigh bone headward, plugging the ball into the socket. Yeah. And then on both legs, just don't do. Kind of relax a little. And then do it again. So press out through the heels, draw the ball into the socket. Yeah. Great. Okay. Let's get out of this. Rebend the knee. Remove the strap to set it to the side. And then with both legs here, we'll bend the knees, step the feet a little bit wider, and just let the knees drop from side to side. And the pelvis will come along for the ride. Arms can go wherever you want them. Yeah. And then in a second, we'll turn over, coming to all fours. Before we get there, it might feel good just to squeeze the knees in, maybe take a little roly-poly side to side, anything at all. That's it. And then when you're ready, we'll turn over and meet in the all fours quadruped position. If anybody needs a blanket under the knees just for extra padding, go ahead and have that. Let's also have the blocks in the front. We won't use them yet, but just so that they're handy for later. Yeah. All right. So setting up here, all fours position. Take a moment just to let your spine move any way that it wants to. Yeah. So I'm taking like a little circle or a half circle. That might be enjoyable. You could do cat-cows. We're all going to do cat-cow in a little bit. You could do some side bends. You could make up a movement that's not like a specific shape. Maybe like a little slither. Good. And then let's let the movement start to settle down. Widen the knees a bit and bring the hips back towards the heels into child's pose. Let's keep the arms forward. And without going anywhere, just push the mat down and forward with your hands, sending the hips back. And it might feel nice to shift the hips a little from side to side. If you like that, you can add it in. And then let's let the hips settle in the middle. And in your hands, go onto the tips of the fingers. So the center of the palm lifts. And give the mat a little scrunch action as if you're trying to squeeze the fingers in towards the midline of the hand. Yeah. And then we'll set the hands down. Reset yourself, finding the all fours position again. Let's reach the right leg back with the toes tucked under and give yourself just a little push-pull back and forth. Stretch out through the calf and ankle. Yeah. And then let's pause here. Broaden the collarbones. Lift a little through the low belly and the low ribs. And very slowly, start to lift the right leg up. Think of lifting up from the inner thigh. Yeah? And remember when we had the strap, we were pressing out through the heel. Do that here. But at the same time, think of drawing the thigh bone in. So drawing the ball into the socket. Yeah. Keep that. And then if you'd like, you can add on the left arm, either straight ahead or straight back, or maybe just tent the fingers, coming into a little bit of balance. If you have the left toes straight back, press down through the left shin. If the left toes are tucked under, don't do that. Yeah. And then we'll set the arm down, we'll set the knee down. Let's go to child's pose again with the toes tucked under this time. And scooch the knees back a little, press the mat forward a little, just to get a little extra stretch again. And it might feel nice here to wobble from side to side, this time giving the toes and the soles of the feet a little extra. Yeah, so don't worry, I won't skip the second side, but we'll take a little detour before we do it. Slide the hands a little further forward, press into the floor, round back, and then stretch back through the toes. Continue forward until the spine unravels. The elbows bend, and we land down on the belly. Once you get down there, scooch the legs back and down one at a time. Hands stay in position. Lift the front of the shoulders away from the floor so the collarbones are broad. Draw back through the tips of the toes and lift the legs by lifting through the inner thighs. They're not going to go too high. It's little. Yeah, great. Now, sometimes we lift the legs and the shoulders droop. Can you keep the front of the shoulders away from the floor? Good. Set the feet back down. Press into the floor with the hands. Let's come back into child's pose just for a quickie. And then one more time, spider fingers in the hands. Give the mat a little scrunch action. We'll reset, coming into our balance on side two. So all fours position. Left leg reaches back, toes tuck under. Give yourself the same little push-pull. That's it. All right. And then pause. Broaden the collarbones. Lift the low ribs. And then slowly lift the left leg up. Lift from the inner thigh. Once you're in position, press back through the heel, but draw the thigh bone a little more headward. And if your right toes are straight back, press down through the right shin. Right arm can come forward or back, or maybe just a little bit lighter on the right hand. Good. Can you continue to breathe while you're in this position? And then to get out, set the right hand down, set the left knee down. Let's go about halfway back to child's pose, toes tuck under, spider fingers in the hands. Yeah. And then we'll come up a little, reset the hands. Lift the knees off the floor, but let's keep them pretty bent. And without moving the hands, try to push the mat forward so the hips shift back. Heading in a down dog. Let the legs slowly start to lengthen. And then once you're in position, you can bend and straighten the knees, you can shift the hips, you can turn your head, any kind of movement here that appeals to you. Good. All right, friends, to get out of this, let's step the feet a little bit wider. Bend the knees and walk the arms back to the legs. Just prop up for a second with the forearms resting on the thighs. It's this sort of wide squat position. Shift your weight a little towards the toes and then a little towards the heels. And do that a few times back and forth. And remember when we were laying down, we had the strap right at the front of the heel. Let's pause when the weight on your feet is there and press down right into that spot. Yeah, keep that. And then on the inhale, we'll come out and up with the arms reach overhead. Exhale the arms down alongside you. Slight bend in the knees. And then just move the spine around, kind of like we did in the all fours position. Yeah, and let the arms just dangle. Exactly. As you're moving along here, feel how the weight shifts on the feet. Kind of like when we were doing those circles. Yeah. All right. Let's pause. and we'll reset. We're at the back of the mat. Let's stay at the back of the mat and keep the feet just a little bit apart. Yeah? Bend the knees slightly, bring the hips back slightly. And then as we straighten the legs, like we did with the strap, you'll press down through the heels and think of drawing up through the thigh bones, up through the arms. And then hands come to prayer. So just a little bend in the knees. We'll do that 2 more times. So we press down as we lengthen up. Yeah, do it 1 more time. Yeah, great. And then let's remain with the hands in prayer. Shift your weight over onto the right side. Pick up the left knee and really press down through the right front of the heel. Yeah? Go ahead and actually let's lift the arms up and use the arms to help lengthen the sides of the body. Great. To come down, left foot steps down, step it a little forward, bring the arms down momentarily, and then we'll press down to lift up again. Yeah, great. So we'll do a little march across the mat, slow march. We step, we press down to lift up. Yeah, great. Nice job, friends. Yeah, keep going if you're slower than I am, or if you're faster than I am, just wait. Yeah, good. All right, friends. Once you get to the top of the mat, release. And let's just take little hula hoop circles, letting the hips stir around a little bit. Yeah, you can stay at the front there. Good. And then we'll go the other direction. Yeah. So we'll do that pattern that we did before this one, but if you feel comfortable going a little bit lower, absolutely fine. So let's start here, hands in prayer, knees bend, hips shift back. You could just do a little bit, or some of you might go a little bit lower down. To come up, we'll press down right at the front of the heel. Inhale, we rise, out and up come the arms. Exhale, we come back down. Yeah, 2 more times. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Inhale to rise. And exhale to lower from this lowered position. Hands reset to the shins. Let's inhale to lengthen the spine forward. Lower yourself down. Let's step the right leg back. You might want blocks here. Right knee to the floor. Yeah. If you need a blanket too, you can grab that and set it underneath the knee. All right. So here we go. On the inhale, can you move the chest forward? And then on the exhale, shift back, go straighter in the front leg. Do that a few times. Inhale forward, exhale back. Yeah, Alvaro, you can put the back knee down here. Exactly. Yeah, and if you want to put a blanket under it, you can keep it down the whole time. Good. All right, so we're going to do this again in a second. Let's pause with the front knee bent. Take left hand to the left thigh with the fingers facing in. Press down for a second. And at the same time, can you lift up through the front of the right leg, up through the low belly, and then up through the torso and the right arm. So the left hand presses down, the right arm reaches up, but we're not going into a side bend. It's just a straight up position. Yeah. Now, those of you, if you have the toes tucked under, just ignore me here. If the toes are flat, try to press down through the middle of the shin. Yeah. All right. And then let's keep left hand in place. Take the right arm down on a block or not on a block. You'll press down into the leg as we turn and just open a little bit. It's a little twist. And then down we come. Yeah. Do that a few times. So the right hand stays down on the floor. And then it's just a little rotation. Yeah. Great. All right, friends. Next time we come back down, we'll shift the hips back, blocks if you need them, and come into the straight left leg position. Now, if you feel like you're really reaching forward, I'll advise pulling the arms back somewhat here. And then let's just take a small bend in the front knee at first. Can you engage the quads? Try to pull the kneecap towards you and keep that as you press the heel down and forward to lengthen the leg. But at the same time, draw the thigh bone Can you shift the pelvis just a little bit to the left here? That's it. So think about your tailbone. For some of us, it wants to pull down and under. See if you can point the tailbone back and move the chest forward. Good. All right. And then to get out of this, take a little break. Rebend the front knee. Tuck the back toes under. Lift the back knee. Stay here. And on the back leg, can you lift a little more through the inner thigh? Move the pelvis back. Move the rib cage forward. And on the front leg, press down right at the front of the heel. If you can, lighten up through the hands. And if you still can, take the arms straight back alongside you, lifting the front of the shoulder away from the floor. Nice broad collarbones. Yeah, you guys. Now to get out of this, we'll head into our plank pose. Let's move the blocks. Plank pose, any version is fine. If you need the knees down, that's fine. If you need to just do all fours and skip plank, that's fine too. Can you broaden the collarbones? Can you lift up a little through the low belly? Yeah. Now those of you with straight legs, pretend there are a wall right behind your feet and press the heels into the imaginary wall. But at the same time, think of drawing the thigh bones into the pelvis. Oh, yeah, just use your imagination. All right, to get out of this, knees down. Let's come all the way down to the belly. Make a little pillow for your forehead. Scooch the legs back and down just one at a time. And then let's lift up through the legs by lifting the inner thighs. Yeah. And then lower. And do that a few times. So the inner thighs lift to lift the legs. When we lift through the inner thighs, it won't let you lift as high as you would if you were lifting through the outer legs. Good. Let's pause with the legs down. Slide the arms a little forward and reset so your elbows are about shoulders width apart, but slightly forward of the shoulders. Yeah, so bring your hands a little further. Yeah, it's kind of a variation on Sphinx pose, but the hands are stacked. Let yourself slump down for a second, and then try to drag the floor back, drag the chest forward, lengthen to lift, and lower yourself down. Let's do this with the breath. So the inhale, we find that little pull, lengthen to lift. Exhale, relax. And one more time, we lengthen to lift. We exhale, relax all the way down this time. Fold the hands, rest the forehead, bend your knees, and just give the legs a little swish from side to side. Yeah. Good deal. All right, guys, let's put the legs down. Head back into downward facing dog. Just take your time to get there. Yeah, nice. And of course, if you want to add in any of those leg pedals, hip shifting, whatever you want here, feel free. Yeah. And then when you're ready, we'll meet at the front of the mat. We're going to stay down there in the forward fold. Do a few of these half lifts. So let's take a little bend in the knees. Hands come to the shins, and on the inhale, let the legs go straighter. Pull the chest forward. Take the rounding out of the back. And then on the exhale, rebend the knees and come down. Do that a few times. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. One more time. This time when we come down, let's step the left leg back, knee down on the floor, blocks if you need them. Yeah, same thing as before. Back and forth we go. Yeah. Here too, if you want to add the breath, it's an inhale forward, exhale back. Great. All right, let's pause the next time we're forward. Take the right hand to the right thigh, fingers face in. Press down through the hand. Lift up through the left front of the leg, up through the low belly as we rise, up through the left arm. Yeah, so the right hand presses down, the left arm lifts up, but it's just as straight up through the spine. We're not doing a side bend for the moment. Yeah, if the toes are straight back, can you press down through the middle of the shin? And then for everybody, keep that lift going on through the front line. Yeah, good. We'll keep the right hand in place. Let's lower the left arm down to the blocker to the floor. And then you'll press the right hand just straight down on the leg as we turn. It's a small twist. It's nothing major. Do that a few times. So we press and turn. Yeah, good. Next time we come out of that, release the hands to the floor or the blocks. We'll shift the pelvis back, the front leg straight. You can walk the arms back if it feels like a bit of a reach. And then let's take just a slight bend in the right knee for this transition. Engage the quad, draw the kneecap towards you, and as you re-lengthen the leg, press the heel forward, but draw the thigh bone back. Yeah, good. Stay here, just check in with the tailbone. Did it tuck under? If it did, you might do that again, and when you do it, have the tailbone pointing back. Can you elongate the spine, move the chest forward, let the shoulder blades glide down the back, and just a tiny little bit, let the pelvis slide to the right. Just a little bit. Yeah, be breathing. Good. All right, friends, let's pause. Rebend the front knee. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, and as you do, lift up through the inner thigh. Pelvis draws back, chest draws forward. Right heel presses down at the front of the heel. You can stay there, you can go lighter fingers, or you can stretch the arms back. If the arms are back, can you lift the front of the shoulders away from the floor, pulling back through the fingertips? Yes. All right, friends, down come the arms. Once again, we head into our plank pose. Plank asana. Can you broaden the collarbones? Can you lift the belly? Can you lift the inner thighs? Press your heels into an imaginary wall behind you, but at the same time, plug the ball into the socket in the hip joint. Yes, Alvaro, that was nice. That was good. Let's take this up in a down dog. Good job, you guys. All right. And now here from your down dog, let's meet in a standing forward fold. Any way you want to do that. Little bend in the knees. Press down right at the front of the heel and use that to rise all the way up and come. And the arms release down. Gorgeous. All right, just relax. Let's do a little hula hoop again. Yeah. And then we'll go the other way with it. So we'll take another few standing on one leg balance poses, and they're a little similar to this march we did, but not exactly the same. So I'll show you facing from the side. I'll show real quick and then we'll all do it together. So you'll be here, instead of pulling up, the leg is going to be pushing down on the arms. And then we'll lengthen the leg. And notice, for many of us, this tends to happen. Some of us, this tends to happen. Yeah, so you want to try to be everything in line, toward like shoulders over hip, over ankle. Yeah? Let's give it a whirl. So, left leg is the base. Right leg comes up and hold your hands behind the right thigh. Now, before we go further, pay attention to the left leg. Press the heel down as you lift everything else up. Now on the right leg, press the thigh down into the arms, but pull the arms back on the thigh, drawing the head of the arm bone back. And then start to go straighter. And if the leg doesn't go completely straight, that's okay. Think of pressing out through the heel, but at the same time, drawing the thigh bone into the pelvis. Yeah. Can you breathe and do all of those things? All right. To get out, rebend, release, just wiggle a little bit. Yeah, this side of the room looked good. I couldn't see you guys, so I'll turn around. Let's do the other side. So the right leg is the base, left leg comes up, and first just get there, yeah? Let's pay attention to the base. Press down right at the front of the heel and see if, you can lift up as you press down. Then the leg presses into the arms. The arms drop back against the leg and slowly start to stretch the left leg to straight, reaching out through the front of the heel, but at the same time drawing the thigh bone back into the pelvis. Yeah, you guys. Nice work. Okay, when you're ready to get out, let's bend, release, we'll stand. Okay, just hula hoop it out a little bit. We'll do another one, and then don't worry, we'll stretch the front of the hips. Let's go the other way with the hula hoop. Yeah, so even if you have impeccable balance, let's take this next one at the wall with your strap, and I'll show you what we'll do. You guys can go to that wall, and you two can go to that wall. I'm going to just turn the screen so they can see the side wall here. You don't need your mat, yeah. So what we'll do is, it's kind of like our Supta Padangusthasana, but now we're standing. And then we'll put the foot on the wall. Now, if you can't get the foot up that high, it's okay if just the toes are on the wall and you're a little lower. But we want to try to have the strap right about at the front of the heel. Yeah, go ahead and get there, and then we'll see more. Yeah. Now, you guys in the room, at home you won't really be able to see, but you can like check in with your neighbor, and so it's sometimes hard to tell on your own body, but you can tell your neighbor if sometimes the leg is a little too far back. Yeah, and we want to have the heel roughly right underneath the hip, so you can look around and see on the standing leg. So look at, yeah. So for some of you, the standing leg needs to come a little forward. More in. Yeah. Yeah. You look pretty even. I can't see you all over there, but you can look at each other. Yeah. Okay. Once you're in position, press the standing front of the heel straight down into the floor. Lift up through the torso. Now press the right heel into the strap. For some of you, it'll be on the wall. Some of you, it won't. And draw the right thigh bone back into the pelvis. Yeah. Yeah, stay upright. Stay upright. And then some of you, if you want to add in a hinge, you'll hinge from the hip crease, bending the elbows, moving the chest forward, but we're not rounding down. Yeah, it's a forward. Elbows go wide. Yeah. Good. Okay. And then to get out, stand, release. Ooh, it's a lot of leg work, isn't it? Yeah. Just wiggle around a little bit. And then we'll do the other leg. Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. That's the name of the pose. Wondered. So left leg comes up. And then you can ask your friends, you can just kind of look and see if the standing foot needs to come in a little bit. You're even more even there. Yeah. You guys look good. All right. And then we'll pause. Pay attention to the bottom foot. Press down through the heel. Lift up through the torso. And then on the standing leg, press the heel into the strap. Some of you, that'll go into the wall. And draw the thigh bone back, away from the wall. Lengthen up through the crown of the head. Good. That's not the chin, that's the crown of the head. And then to hinge, if you're hinging, hinge from the hip crease. Let the elbows go wide. Yeah, think of coming forward, not going downward. And if adding that in is too much, just leave it out. Good. Let's come out of that release. Oh, yeah. Just put the strap to the side, but we'll stay at the wall. Wiggle around a little bit. And then remember our spider fingers on the floor. We're going to do spider fingers on the wall. So fingertips on the wall. Start to walk the feet back until the heels are roughly under the hips. And you can just approximate that. You don't have to ask your friends. Take a slight little bend in the knees. And notice how we have a tendency to kind of just dump forward into the fingertips. Can you press the tops of the thighs back away from the wall so much that the fingertips become light? And then we lengthen the legs, keeping the fingertips light. So the tops of the thighs press away from the wall. Yeah, it's work. It's work for sure. Now, some of us have a tendency to droop down. If that's you, lift up a little through the lower ribs. Yeah. Okay. To get out, let's walk forward, release. Undo that. You can open and close the hands a little bit. Yeah. All right, let's head back to your spot. Nice job, you guys. Anything you want to say? You're so quiet. Nothing. Oh, let me redo this.
Ow.
Ow? I heard a wow.
Wow.
Yeah, awesome. So all of that required a fair amount of work in the hip flexors. So we'll stretch that out next. Let's come to the front of the mat. Slight separation of the feet, slight little bend in the knees, slight shift back with the pelvis. When we straighten the legs, press down through the front of the heels. Inhale up. Exhale, let's go through the center, forward fold. These can bend here. Take your halfway lift. And then let's lower down, stepping the right leg back, knee to the floor like we did before. If you need a blanket, take it. Yeah. Great. Now in this position, before we come up, can you try to drag the right leg forward and the left leg back, like you're trying to scissor the legs in, yeah? And then back off. Do that a couple of times. And then if the next thing I say is a no-go for you, you'll keep repeating this like a little pulse. If you're gonna try it, next time you relax a little bit, turn your torso a little to the left, bend the right knee and hold on to the foot or to the ankle, something back there. And then find again that little scissor in idea. Yeah. Yeah, blanket could be useful. Strap could be useful. All right. And then whatever happened, it's over. We're gonna release. Yeah, let it come down. Let's tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, lengthen the front leg, and then rebend the back knee and just wiggle a little from side to side. Yeah. Good. And then to change sides, we'll just change sides. So the right leg comes forward, left leg comes back. Knee comes down to the floor or blanket if you need. And then before we do the big one, let's do that scissor in. So do that a few times. Yeah. Now you choose. Maybe this is where you stay. If you're adding the next one, next time you relax a little, pause there, bend the back knee, reach back, find the foot or the ankle. And then from there, find that scissor in again. Pull the sides tighter for me. Yeah. Okay. Take it out. Very delicately. Release. Lean a little forward on the exit. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. Lengthen out the front leg, bend the back knee, and then just a little wiggle. Yeah. All right, we're gonna stretch the calves next. So let's pause. Move the blocks if you're on them. Head into your downward facing dog pose. Bring the feet a little forward and also a little closer together. And then from here, can you sink the right heel towards the floor? Right leg is straight, left knee bends. Oh, yeah. And then we'll do the other side. Bend the right knee, straighten out the left, sink the heel downward towards the floor. So go back to stretch the right side again, side one. If you want to add on here, let the pelvis take a little side to side. If you don't, just hold the position still. Yep. And then other side. Great. All right, we'll reset, downward dog. And then let's meet in a standing forward fold. Any way you want to get there is fine. Little bend in the knees. Press down right at the front of the heel and use that to rise up. Inhale, we grow. And exhale, arms down. Okay. So next we'll take Warrior One and a Parsvottanasana variation. Blocks, I think, are useful for this, so just have them handy at the front. Hands right here at the top of the pelvis. Let's reach the right leg back with the heel down on the floor, and the right leg is turned out ever so slightly. Yeah, so heel down on the floor. Or you can separate, separate a little bit right to left. Yeah. All right, friends. So just stand here and be kind of lazy. And feel how it's different when you press down through the right heel. Just press it straight down into the mat. Well, did anybody lift up a little? Yeah, that's what we want. So let's keep that. Lengthen long through the side body. Lengthen long through the arms. And now we'll bend the front knee and try not to collapse through here. So keep lengthening as we descend. And if you need to scooch the front foot forward, sometimes I do. Now just a tiny little bit, hinge forward, and think of the lower back rib band. Kind of expanding slightly, drawing back slightly. Keep that idea as you reset the torso upright. Yeah, so sometimes we'll go into a back bend on purpose, but for this one, see if you can keep the back ribs full. Good. All right, and then from here, front knee stays bent. Let's hinge forward to come down. Hands will land probably on the blocks, maybe on the floor. And then as we go straighter in the front leg, guess what we're gonna do? Press the heel forward and draw the thigh bone back. Yeah. Do that a few times. Let's inhale to bend and exhale to lengthen. A couple more times. That's it. Now let's do one more time with the knee bent. And in slow motion, as you straighten the leg, left heel presses down and forward, left hip draws back and up. And then from here, if you feel like you're really down there, go higher on the blocks or make a little block tower to the inside, just so you have a little more room for the spine. Can you draw the pelvis back and draw the rib cage forward? Yeah. Let's inhale. On the exhale, lift a little through the low belly and now let yourself bow over. And we'll do a little mini version of that on each breath. So inhale, we lengthen. And exhale, we bow over. It might be appropriate to lower the blocks. It might not be. Yes, a couple more of those. Yes, friends. Let's pause in the flat back, elongated spine phase. Bend the front knee, spin the back heel up. Let's step the back foot forward. Press down through the heels. Inhale, we grow. And exhale, the arms down. Yeah. Same thing, side two. So if you need to reset your props, do. Hands on the top of the pelvis, left leg reaches back, heel down on the floor, slight little external rotation there. And then feel the difference when you're just standing here versus when you actively press down through the left heel. Keep that. Lengthen long through the side body, up through the arms. Relax the shoulders, but stay long. And as you bend the front knee, instead of sinking down, still go up. Yeah, good. Right. And then from here, let's hinge forward just a smidge, just a little. Think of the lower rib band drawing back. And try to keep that idea as you lengthen. That's it. And then slowly here, let's come forward and down again, landing your hands, whatever height is appropriate for you. Very slowly for this first round, press the right heel down and forward as you draw the right hip up and back to lengthen the leg. Do that a few more times. Inhale to bend and exhale to lengthen. Yeah, so two ends of the leg going in different directions every time we lengthen. Good. Now let's take it one last time here and then we'll stay. So the heel presses down and forward, the hip draws back and up as we lengthen. If you need to go higher in the hands for a moment, go ahead and do. Draw the pelvis back, draw the rib cage forward. Inhale here. Leg stays in place. On the exhale, let yourself fold and drape over. A couple more of those. Inhale, little mini version. Don't come all the way up. Just find the length. And then exhale, find the fold. Couple more times. Good. Let's pause here in the lengthened position. Rebend the front knee, spin the back heel up. Let's step back foot forward. Press down through the heels. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, arms down. Oh, yogis, looking mighty fine. Let's have a seat. Come on down. Have the legs out in front of you, seat on the floor, feet on the floor, and the knees bent. And then we'll just do like a seated version of the windshield wipers. We did this laying down earlier. Yeah, so bend up the knees. And then we'll let them swish from back side. Great. A little butt massage too. Extra bonus. All right, guys, let's pause here. And then we'll come have a lie down. Keep the knees bent. And let's cross the right ankle over the left thigh. And you choice, you can keep the left leg down or you can pull it in. It's a little figure four stretch. You could be still, you could add some movement. Up to you. Yeah. Oh, this one feels good, doesn't it? All right. And then we'll undo and change to the second side. So the left one comes over. Right leg can stay down or you could pull it up. And, oh, this side's tighter for me. It usually is. Anytime we balance on one leg, that's a lot of work for the standing leg, especially in the gluteus medius, side butt. And then we'll release that. We're going to do a prep for bridge, but we're not actually going into bridge. Think of it more just like a shoulder opener. So you'll bend the elbows, forearms straight up and down, palms face each other. And on the inhale, press the arms down into the floor and press the shoulder blades into the back ribs. On the exhale, just let that go a little bit. So a couple more times. Inhale, we press, we lift. And exhale, let it go. So that same concept of pressing down to lift up applies here in the thoracic spine. Arms press down as the middle back lifts up. Great. And then just one last round. Okay. And then we'll relax the arms. Let the head just take a gentle side to side. And then if there's anything else that you need before Shavasana, maybe that's some extra movement, maybe that's fooling with the props, take whatever you need, and then we'll meet laying down in Shavasana, or if there's a shape that you prefer instead, take that instead. And then I'm going to actually shut off some of these lights in here. It's a little bit bright. Now, for most of our class today, we've been doing different versions of pressing into the floor to lift away from the floor. And for Shavasana, we'll do a little bit of the opposite. Instead of pressing down, just let yourself soften down. Give weight. Allow gravity to take over. And allow the floor or the props underneath you to support you fully and completely. See if you can relax the neck, the face, the eyes. Every time you exhale, imagine your bones just become a little heavier. Drop down. your attention back into your body. Just take a gentle head roll, head from side to side. You might add in a little wiggle of the fingers, the toes, a little stretch. Whenever it feels right here, you can bend the knees, roll over to one side. And then from here, so one last time, we'll press down to lift up, finding your seat. You can sit any which way, any way you like. Take hands to heart center. And then let's end with that hum again. So we'll take a sweet breath in. Namaste.
Namaste.